I'm all right, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, so good to hear that. And so, what shall we do tonight? Go through the future.
The questions you are going to ask me.
I, I, I need to convince my. I
Okay, that's all
apologize
right.
because today is so busy. I didn't prepare any
That's
questions.
all right. No problem.
Okay.
Don't worry. We have got a lot of things to discuss, and
Okay.
we'll go slowly. All right. I would like to. Can we start now? We have got the. Are we going to wait for the others? So I can see 17 participants are here.
Which book? It means the ma.
No, what I'm asking is it time
Yeah.
to start the discussion? We have got 17 participants.
17
You are here.
participants. Yes, 17 participants because we're located in different time zone. They just come to us
They are in
little
very
by little, yes. Different time zone and because in
different countries.
different countries. So that's why
That's all.
it needs time. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go back to the two things, the last two things, wholesome actions and the perfections. Just touch on those ones today again.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
if you look at the Maha Mangala Sutra, we just started that one.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
as you can imagine, yesterday we started on that. There are 12 verses in that sutra given by the Buddha to answer with the intention of answering that question raised by a monk who got stuck due to containing the proudness and the ability obtained by practicing this. So that is what we discussed yesterday. So the that particular monk who has controlled the system fairly well has asked the Buddha, why can't I go further due to this particular hindrance or obstruction uh, for overwhelming proudness and the overconfidence incurred, especially due to being a well controlled person. So that
Yeah.
means, once you practice this, we have to, no matter what Buddha says, you have to leave the teachings of the Buddha as well.
Yeah.
Teachings of the Buddha as well, we have to allow that to go from our system as well. We should not
Yes.
attach to the teachings of the Buddha even. The point is, once we have gone through the instructions given by the Buddha, once you have practiced according to the instructions given by the Buddha, we don't want any more about the teachings because we use them, we practice. When it comes to the end, when we achieve the bliss of Nibbana, we don't have to carry them because that is already used and need no more. You understand?
Yes.
So
Yes,
therefore,
yes.
Buddha said, don't contain the Buddha's teachings even at the end. You just leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Exactly.
So
Yes,
therefore,
yes,
that
yes.
becomes attachment. So that also becomes attachment that going to be a hindrance. The beauty of this particular sutra is it is in par or it is going with the 10 awesome actions and the perfections if you remember the actions given in those two items,
Yeah.
those are very,
Still.
yeah, very well used in this sutra. All right, very well used in
Yeah.
this sutra. So as you go
Yes.
down, you can see the 12 verses are there, but we just started with the
Nice.
one verse yesterday. So if you look at that, the the final verse tells something interesting. If you look, I have not given those things yet, so I'll give
Yeah.
that
Not. Not yet.
the final verse I'll just mention here. Final verse says Buddha is teaching this particular person who has not not in a position to move forward due to that hindrance or the obstruction made by being proud of the achievement. So when you achieve something, you should not be proud of that. You have to leave that and go to the next one and next one. That's what Buddha says. So if you look at the wholesome actions, dana, sila, bhavana. I'm going to go through that again quickly. Dana, sila, bhavana, pattidana, pattanumodana. That means practice dana, sila, bhavana is practicing dana and sila. Dana is renunciation of things or leaving behind the things, detachment from the things, that is dana. Then the six senses are going to get controlled very well. So the six senses are not there for us to have happiness or sadness. Buddha says six senses are not there for us to have happiness from the outside world or unhappiness from the outside world. They are not with us. Six senses are not with us to have happiness or unhappiness. So, therefore, when you leave things behind, for example, when you see something, if you are not attaching to that, your six senses are not going to work the way it worked previously. They're not going to work the way it worked previously. Because once you start this practice, then you feel better, you feel relaxed, you feel no uh, irritations or vibrations in the system, physical system. Therefore, you feel like practicing that over and over again. What is that? Dana and sila.
Dana and Sila. And then
Yeah, when you are
Bhavana.
practicing, yeah, then bhavana, dana, sila, bhavana. So then when you practice that bhavana is practicing meditation, you call contemplating or any other term you can use, concentrating, contemplating, or meditating. All are similar words. So when you practice that, you feel better, you experience some sort of relief, then you tend to attach onto that. Buddha says don't attach onto that. That is what that is why Buddha said they are patidana. Leave them behind.
Patidan.
Patidana is leave them behind. Don't attach to them. There's a term
Yeah.
dana. Yeah. That also detach from. Patidana. The term dana is still there. Buddha used that dana word at the beginning and in the fourth one as well, Pattidana. Then Pattanu Modana. Then what you have to do is the relief that you have got, that has to be, concentrate, and then without detaching is my policy. I'm going to detach from what I'm going to get as a relief. So that is why Buddha said Pattanumodana. So I'm going to go along this process, Dana Sila Bhavana Pattidana, and that is going to be my policy, determined, well determined policy. Then when you are
Yes.
practicing and determined to do that, eventually what comes up? The the validity or the admirability of
Okay.
impartiality comes in. So you become impartial. You don't want to stick to those things. You are impartial now. Gradually you are becoming a neutral and impartial. So you are practicing neutrality and impartiality. So that is called the Vayavaccha. Vayavaccha means,
Yeah, matcha.
yeah, Vayavaccha means practicing the neutrality or impartiality. Then you feel like it's like somebody is, giving you the instructions now. So the system itself is giving instructions to you as you go along this particular path spelled out by the Buddha very clearly. Spelled out by the Buddha, this particular path, feel like going along that. Then, while you are going along that, your system itself tells you what to do because you know the instructions. Your system itself is going to tell you, but it happens effortlessly without any effort. So, eventually, that is what is happening. So, you respect the process, the way it's going on. So you respect that, that is apachayana. Respect and admire the way the things are happening. What are happening? Dana sila bhavana, pattidana, pattanu modana, veya vacha. Veya vacha is practicing the impartiality or equanimity. Gradually the system is going to get used to that concept. Get used to that concept. Feel like practicing along those lines. So then the system itself respects and admire this particular path up to that point. The reason is you got an enormous relief in your system compared to what you had earlier with a lot of sorrowful events, sorrowful situations. So you feel you're on a much better situation than what you were. Can you understand that?
Yes.
So therefore the system start to preach you. The validity of this particular system is preached by the system itself, the internal
Mm.
system itself. Preaching means you realize the validity and the what is another term to validity? Validity is,
Reality.
admirability, validity,
Uh,
uh, and the way of things are happening is to
mm.
be appreciation. That's another term. So
Appreciation.
appreciation, validity, uh, and
In.
Yeah,
Gratitude.
gratitude. Yeah, gratitude. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. So all these things are there. So it's you name you can bring all the things because they are happening to your system. So you pay the respect, the admirability, gratitude. You know, you name everything is there. Then the system start to preach to you and also listening over and over again this particular method dana sila bhavana pattidana pattanumodana. In other words, your focus is now on this particular path or the set of actions. There are set of actions one after the other. Dana sila bhavana pattidana pattanumodana veyyavacha apachayana deshana sravana. So it's teachers listens, teachers listens, preachers listens, tells listens. Is telling, we are listening. Same person telling, same person is listening. So it's a better way of understanding because it's not like somebody else telling you. Through the experience that the system has gained, now the system start to preach and talk.
Yeah.
Then
So
listening.
that kind of situation, yeah, is called Shravana.
Sravana. Sravana is the listening.
Shravana.
Deshana is the preaching or telling. So there are two things because without preaching you can't listen. So system is telling, you are listening. So deshana Sravana means the first thing is preaching, next one is listening. Then while you
Yeah.
are doing that, respecting, stick to the equanimity and all that, system is going to change its way of living. Gradually the system is sticking to these actions one after the other. The previous life is changing. Previous life,
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
previous life had so many difficulties, sufferings, sorrowfulness, you name, everything was there in the previous life, always trying to get the happiness through the outside world, the objects by registering the upadana rupa. That is what we said. Now the system is gradually, not quickly, but gradually, it's going to change towards the right direction to bring up calmness and peacefulness. Where your dittiju, so you're determined to stick to that particular actions. Dittiju is your actions are very clear. Dana Sila Bhavana, Pattidana Pattanumodana, Viyyavat Chapachayana, Desana Sravana Dittiju. Why I'm stressing these things over and over again? If you look at very carefully in the Mahamangala Sutra, Buddha
Yeah.
has, Buddha has expanded these 10 items quite clearly. The Buddha has exaggerated, expanded, and explained, clearly about the validity of these 10 actions. Finally, you can understand what is Dittiju in a broader sense through the Mahamangala Sutra, very broader sense. The Dittiju is, I'll just mention that, which everybody can understand. Dittiju is your system is resisting without any trouble, happily
Yes.
happily taking these situations, happily taking with calmness. What are the situations? There are eight. vicissitudes. Those are the term given in English. Vicissitudes. I don't know whether you have heard about that, but I'll give you the 8 vicissitudes.
What's that?
Oh yeah, I'll come to that. The gain and loss, right?
Gain and
Gain
loss.
and loss. I'll write the term here. I'll type what are they. 1 second. I'll write them. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, what are they? Uh, they are called 8. So we are getting a better understanding about the
Is suffering?
no Diktiju.
I
Uh,
addicted you.
when I tell you these things in a minute. Okay, these are the 8 vicissitudes. What are they? One is gain and loss. Gain
Gain and loss.
and loss.
Gain and loss.
So gain and loss, no problem. So that person won't get upset, or the system won't get vibrated whether there is a gain or loss. Okay. Then there is no problem with this system whether that person has got power or no power, powerless.
得失.
So it's the second one is, now see, first one gain or loss. So first one has got 2 items, power and loss, power and powerless. Sorry, I made a mistake there. Powerless should be like that. Powerless. Yeah, sorry about that. Powerless, right? Okay, the power and powerless. Can you understand that? I
Yeah.
wrote the second one properly. Power and powerless. I'll write it again. Power and powerless. Okay, that's better. So I have told four now. Gain and loss, power and powerless. So that one I typed the first one wrongly. Sorry about that. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay. The next
Yes.
one is, sorry about that. Praise. If somebody praise you or blame you, no difference.
Praise, blame.
Yeah. Blaming or praising, there is no difference in the system. So it's not vibrating or doing all sort of things. No sankara. That's the word. No sankara for all these things. Then whether you get the happiness,
Blame. Okay.
happiness, or you get the sadness.
Happiness or sadness.
Sadness. Happiness or sadness. Now the 8 things are complete. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So it's gain and loss, power and
Can,
powerlessness, praise and blame, happy and unhappiness or sadness.
yes.
There are 8 vicissitudes. These are the norms. Norms.
Norms. Yes.
These
Norms.
are the norms in the world to live with us. These are the norms that we have to face while we are living in this world.
Uh,
Sometimes we get gain, sometimes we lose. So we pass exams, we fail exams. We get the things right, we get things wrong. Okay?
yeah. What's that? Yeah. There is a question from norms. What does it mean? Norm.
Norm means,
Same.
that's another situations. General
Situations.
situations, yeah, that we
Okay.
have to face. Those are the things, the system is giving us. The
Mm.
outside world is giving us these things to us. Either be happy or unhappy. Either
Yeah.
be, when somebody is praising, someone is blaming. One is praising, one is blaming to the same person. Sometimes you
Yeah.
have got the power, sometimes you haven't got the power.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the norm.
Yeah, that's the norm. That's the way of life is moving along. Now, when that happens, this particular person is not going to change his blood pressure or anything. No sankara, no change, no vibrations, no compression, no squeezing, no warming up, or no vibrations in the particles of the physical body whatsoever. So Buddha is trying to bring this person up to that point through this Mahamangala Sutra, which is okay. Let us examine that. Logically, it's right because this fellow got stuck. This particular monk, say monk or somebody, I don't know exactly what this person is. So he's very good at controlling his system, but he gets stuck by being proud of that, being uh, happy with that, being attached to that. So therefore, Buddha gave the sutra with 12 verses. Finally, that monk or the venerable or whatever is going to achieve that particular status, eliminating or controlling all the 8 vicissitudes: gain, loss, happy and sad, power and powerless, praise and blame. All right, 8 are there. Are you happy up to there, please?
Mm, is all right. What does it mean?
Vicissitudes. So Buddha is teaching to control totally the system when we
Mm-hmm.
have to face all these 8 vicissitudes in the same manner by using the equanimity. So you offer equanimity to all these situations. Whether you
Yes.
gain,
Yes.
my
Equanimity.
system is impartial. If I lose, my system is impartial. If I if
Yes.
I,
Yes.
if I get happy, my system is impartial. I'm not going to attach to happiness. I'm not going to attach to that gain. I'm not going to attach to that power. I'm not going to attach to that uh, what the other one, the happiness. I'm not going to attach to the loss. I'm not going to attach to the powerless. I'm not attached to the blames. I'm not going to attach to the sadnesses because I'm not attaching to any of these things. Then I'm totally free from the 10 vicissitudes, which are the norm of the world that they are giving us. The world is giving us all these things. So if you go back to your life, the up to today, you can see certain situation you gain, in certain situation you lose, isn't it? Losing is not only money. You lose the strength. You lose the popularity. You lose the you gain the popularity. No, it's going up and down. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this particular sutra is going to take to that level finally. So I'm just mentioning about that. Okay, let us go to the other one, the perfections now. The
Okay.
perfection, just go through that before coming to the sutra.
Okay. Ten
Because all these
perfection.
things are very well read and understood before going to the sutra, because in sutra all these terms are coming here and there. Buddha has mentioned these the terms here and there. So if you want to understand the sutra, you must have a good understanding about these terms.
Exactly. So I can
Yeah,
feel
then,
that, yeah,
then you
within that
can,
suture.
yeah,
Yeah.
then you can be happy that you have understood everything. So we have to understand kama, tanna, rati, raga, lobha, desha, moha, machariya, krodha, vayu. That is the 10 defilements or unwholesome actions have to be understood. That's the very first thing, a basic 10 items that we learn. That's the
Yeah.
very first part. That's the foundation, I said. That's the foundation to understand Buddha's teachings. Anybody who is coming as a newcomer to learn Buddha's teachings must understand Kama, Tanna, Rati, Raga, Lobha, Desha, Moha, Matsarya, Krodha, Vaira. That is why I insisted that at the beginning, because without that, we cannot understand Buddha's teachings in Sutra. Then, not only that, the five hindrances. That is Pancha Nivarna Dhamma. It says Dhamma. Pancha Nivarna Dhamma, Buddha's terms. Pancha Nivarna Dhamma. Nivarna means resisting or obstructing. Dhamma means the speed. These speeds, the higher speeds are created by Kamachanda, Vyapada, Tinamidda, Uddhacha, Kucha, Vichikicha. So I'm going back to what we have studied. So we have to go and revise them, recall them, figure out what they are all the time. So Kamachanda, Vyapada, Tinamidda, Uddhacha, Kucha, Vichikicha. So those are always giving some sort of uncomfortable speed within the system they create. So that is why it says these obstructions are Dhamma. Why Buddha term them Dhamma? They are producing speeds which are not normal or natural. They are well above the natural speed in the system. If we can maintain a natural speed, we are calm. We can, we can be happy. We can talk to the people very nicely. We can get the things from the people very nicely. If somebody is shouting at us, then we can control that very well. If we can have our normal speed. So those are the advantages by learning that. Then 10 Sangyojan. Sakkayaditthi Vijigicha, Silabbata Paramasa Kamaraga,
Mm.
Patika Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Manuddacha Vidya. So that I'm just going through what we have learned. Because all these things are required to understand what Buddha said. So you can, visualize through your system, visualize the teachings of the Buddha through all these things. Then you know which is good, which is bad. Now the good ones are wholesome actions, dana, sila, bhavana, patidana, pattanamodana, viyava, chapachayana, desana, sravana, dittiju. Then the perfections, dana, sila, nekkhamma, panya, virya, kanti, satya, maditthana, mettu, pekka. Those are the good ones. Then the bad ones, the sakkayaditthi, vijikicha, silabbata, paramasa, kamaraga, patika, ruparaga, aruparaga, manuddacha, vidya, avidyapatya sankara, sankarapatya vinyanapatya namarupang, namarupatya salayatanang, salayatanapatya passo, passapatya vedanapatya tanhapatya bhava, jati jara vyadi marana soka parideva dukkha domanassa upayasa sambhavanti eva me tassa kevalassa dukkha skandha samudayo hoti. That is the entire set of actions which are going through our mind if we are not careful, the bad ones. If we are careful, then what are going through our system? Dana Sila Bhavana, Pattidana Pattanumodana, Veyavacha Apachayana, Desana Dittiju. Then Dana Silang Nitkamam, Panya Viri Panchamam, Kanti Satcha Dittana, Metupekha. So we are in 10 good ones, wholesome,
Yeah, 10
and the
perfections. Yes.
perfection. So if you can maintain your system with perfections and the wholesome actions all the time, you become a very peaceful person without any effort. Effortlessly, that is the offering that you get through the teachings of the Buddha. So it's a reward. It's a reward given through the Buddha's teachings. It's a reward from the teachings of the Buddha. It is not Buddha is giving that. It is given by the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha has explained what they are. So we respect Buddha for teaching us these things. And finally, we have to use them. Okay, so that's not a bad way to concentrate and contemplate on the things that we have studied so far. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all done that. So always uh, remembering the good and the bad, especially the good ones, not necessary to think about the bad ones. Now, Buddha said, if you get rid of sins, you know what sins are? The bad ones, sins.
Yeah, sins.
Sins.
Sins from the,
From the 10 defilements, hindrances, fetters, paticca samuppada, all those things are being
yeah,
sins.
sins.
If you prevent those things, Buddha said, you don't have to do any, the good actions. Buddha said, you don't have to do any good actions. You prevent the bad actions, then what is left with you? The good ones. So Buddha says, don't worry about doing this, that to bring the good deeds. So people think, doing the good deeds make us better. No. Take out the bad things, the system get much better. Even though these 10 wholesome actions and the perfections, you don't have to do it forcefully. Once you get rid of that, all the 45 bad actions we learn,
Yeah.
what is left with? Left with the 10 good ones, and the perfections come automatically towards you.
Yeah.
That comes automatically, but Buddha mentioned about them so that you can figure out how they came, what has happened in the system. You can revise, recall, and re-examine what's going on. All right, with all that, let us go to this Mahamangala Sutra, which is very uh, wisely Buddha has preached that by bringing all these things together. It's quite interesting to examine Mahamangala Sutra. So the question was, okay, again, this was occurred at Evam Mesutang Ekang Samayam Bhagava, Savatya, when Buddha was dwelling in the Savatthi Anathapindi Karasam. That means Anathapindika's temple or Aram, or the place where Anathapindika, as we said, is a banker who made this and donated to Buddha to live there. Now, Buddha is not living at one place for a long time. Buddha used to go from one place to another. Sometimes, when there was some sort of a conflict between the uh, monks, Buddha went to a forest without telling anybody. I'll give you another nice story. Buddha went out to a forest. And who helped the Buddha? All the animals helped the Buddha by bringing all the food and this that. But they shared with Buddha. Then the question is why Buddha didn't tell? Why Buddha is leaving that place? The reason is Buddha hasn't no need to tell anybody because Buddha is not attached to them. Buddha never thinks that this is my temple. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now if I
It
say no,
doesn't.
yeah, he doesn't have to tell that because if I believe this house is not mine, when I'm leaving this house to go to a shop, I don't have to tell anybody this. I'm leaving the house.
No need to say. Yeah. So the Buddha,
Buddha is,
for us,
yeah,
yeah, for
Buddha,
us, we're the house and
yeah, we have to
Buddha
lock
leaving
it,
us,
even
and
we
no
have,
need to. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting that
yeah,
example.
yeah, that's a real example Buddha did. So anyway, एवं मे सुतं एकं समयं भगवा सावत्यं विरति जेतवने अनाथपिण्डिकाराम. So there are so many places Buddha was living. Sometimes in a hut along the when Buddha walks, we find a place to live, maybe a small hut beside the road. So Buddha lives there to spend that night, which is a long distance Buddha is walking to go to the next village. Okay, now Atako Anyatara Devata Abhikantaya Ratya. That means that particular night, this person came, this monk, or becoming a noble monk by controlling the system itself, and came and said, practicing to control his own system from impurities and living at the same monastery, approached the Buddha and respectfully stood to one side, standing thus. He put forward the following question to the omniscient Buddha. So, what is the question? You go a little bit further down. The question is, okay, next part. The question is in the next part.
Okay.
We can read that. Yeah. Bahu deva manussacha mangalani achintayu akankamana sottanam bruhi mangalam. In simple terms, Buddha, I have controlled myself to a great extent, but unfortunately, this particular hindrance came to my system. What is the hindrance? Is I was so proud about my achievements. I was overconfidence. So therefore, I felt that I can't move forward. I don't know why. What is the reason? How can I go forward from here? This is just, telling in normal common words instead of giving a big paragraph. But that is exactly what written here as well by using those Magadhi terms. Bahu deva ansacha mangalani achintayum akankamana sottana bruhi mangalamuttama. How do I become a neutrally blissful, eternally very well relieved from all impurities, as well as unbiased, joyful, supreme, sublime human being by eliminating. What to eliminate? That's the real question. How can I eliminate? That's what he's stressing to Buddha. How can I eliminate those obstructive levels of overwhelming proudness and the overconfidence that incurred, especially due to being a well controlled person of my own process of this very system? So that's the real question. How can I get rid of this part? When Buddha gave the very first advice, the next one tells you. Okay? Asevanacha balanang panditanancha sevana. Pujacha pujaniyanang etam mangala mutta. So what it says is, don't associate with things like dasa papa kamma or 10 defilements, then 5 hindrances. Because when you, it shows that Buddha realized that this monk has been with these two items. That's why it got stuck. Even for a smaller scale, not maybe for a larger scale, but for a very small scale, some sort of barrier has crept into the system. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
That's why Buddha is insisting, please get rid of these 10 defilements and the 5 hindrances immediately from the system. Then associate with, putting those things away from the system, associate with dasa punya kamma and dasa paramita. So concentrate on these ones as much as you can. Then other bad parts will gradually move away, or they would disappear in their own, because you are not inviting them anymore. So if you don't invite the 10 defilements, who is coming in? 10 wholesome actions. If you are not accepting or inviting the 5 hindrances, who is coming in? The perfections are coming into the system.
Mm.
If you are not inviting the 10 fetters or the dasa sangyojana, who is coming in? Either the
Health and ease.
yeah, then wholesome and perfection actions would be there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are totally rejecting the paticca samuppadaya sammaditthi sammadak, that all these things, avidya patya sankara patya vinyana, then who is coming in? The coming in is tranquility.
Tranquility. Ah, yes.
That because you are eradicating the
Things.
hurtful thoughts. You are not
Yeah, hurtful
you are not
thoughts.
producing the hurtful thoughts anymore. So who has got the place there? The tranquility has the place there. So
Mm.
you are providing the tranquility to come in or take the place of hurtful thoughts. That is how Buddha teach us. Buddha teach us in that manner. Once they go, the others will come. As long as these people are here, enemies are here, the good people can't come in. So you can understand that. So
Yeah.
allow the wholesome actions to come in, allow the perfections to come in, then let the others go away. Because remember, these are not in our system. We create these things. Dasa papa kamma or 10 defilements are not in the system. What we do is we entangle or attach with the outside world and create them by ourselves. That is the mistake we are doing. They are not with us at all. We are creating them and suffer. That's what Buddha says. So we create 10 defilements and suffer.
So there is no need to create.
Yeah, we don't do anything with them. You know, when you see something, don't attach too much. That's what Buddha said.
Mm.
Then the 10 defilements can't come in. They can't create to the six senses. Otherwise, six senses have to be active. Don't activate the six senses towards the outside world.
Yes.
Pancha
Mm.
Niyama is the same. The hindrances. Kamachanda, Vyapad, Tinamidda, Uddacha, Kukucha, Vijigicha. So don't create them. Then they will come behind you. So we are creating things and they will come behind you and attack us. Attacking means they are bringing sorrow and, unhappiness, sorrow, ill will, anger, everything is coming behind us. Who created? The six senses. Why? Because we attached. Who is attached? The system. So the attachment is through karma and tanha. We say that is good and we say that is bad. Then the
Mm.
then you we allowing the system to work on our intention. We say this is good. Then on that intention it works. System works. We say this is bad. On that intention it works. Bringing from both situations the unhappiness, the sorrow, suffering.
Mm.
So we have to analyze, examine very carefully. We have to be very carefully examine what's going on. So because we are not familiar with examining, Buddha has preached this for us to as a help. So Buddha helped us to realize what's going on in our system. Otherwise,
Mm.
we don't know what's going on. We just live for the sake of living. And with all sort of troubles we live and go from this world. So luckily Buddha has given these instructions. So we have got the chance to examine them by ourselves and put the system on the right path. Okay? So that's the
Yeah.
very first one. Asevanacha balanam panditanancha sevana pujacha pujaniyanam etam mangala muttama. So go to the next one to explain that. For today, let us go to the next verse, please. I gave you the next verse as well, isn't it? Yeah, I gave the next verse. So, can you go to the next verse, please? Next verse of the Mahamangala Sutra. Patirupa Desa Vasocha. Patirupa Desa Vasocha. Ubbecha Kata Punyata. Atta Samma Panidita. Etam Mangala Muttama. Now, this is nothing new. Exactly what you have learned previously on 5 elements of a thought. So that has to be considered here. Okay, let us look at what this says. Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha. It says, okay, let us go along this line, sorry, without going to the explanation. Let us look at this verse. Pati. No idea about that. Rupa, you have heard about Rupa, haven't you? Rupa.
Rupa. Yeah.
Now this is
Eh,
a familiar term.
Upadana Rupa.
Yeah, Upadana Rupa, Rupa, very good. So you know what it is. You know what the
Yeah.
Rupa is doing. Now see, at least one term we know. Ati Rupa Desa Vasocha. Desava. Desava means we are living with Rupa.
Mm.
So, socha, what they bringing? Soka, sorrow. So, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha, we are living in a world with Rupa of the external sources. What they bring us? Soka, unhappiness, sorrowfulness. Now, what happened to this monk? Why Buddha said this? What is his containing in the system? Now, see, he is containing the proudness. Now, we have to analyze in that manner. Otherwise, why Buddha gave these things as the answer? So, if those two are not tallying, the question and the answer, then our explanation is wrong. No matter what is written in the book, no matter what is written by somebody else, if those two things are not explaining to get rid of that problem, then this answer is not very well explained. Can you understand what I said?
Yeah.
So every verse must tally with the answer to get rid of those proudness and the overconfidence and so on. That containment has to be eradicated by using this. Now, Buddha is elaborating in this one because that person has got the and the proudness and the overconfidence.
Overconfidence
Yeah,
and
but
also
yeah,
conceit.
yeah. Just imagine if by any chance if that escalate and make it worse by bringing this and that also later. So therefore, Buddha knows if that person is confined to that part, it might get worse by bringing other things into the system. Therefore, Buddha elaborated this answer to safeguard that person or the monk, to eliminate other unknown things which would arise or probably arise as that person goes along that path to achieve.
Yes.
So therefore,
Yes.
Buddha didn't just tell how to get rid of that. Buddha said, when you are getting rid of that, other things may come in because those things have to be eliminated as well. Okay, so let us look at the first one. Quite interesting. Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha. So
Mhm.
Buddha says, first and foremostly, first again go back to the Kama Tanna Rati Raga and all the Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana. Buddha is reminding, don't forget this particular monk doesn't know the 10 defilements. That person knows. That monk knows the hindrances because that person has learned and practiced. That is why that monk has controlled the system to that extent. So we have to remember that he's not a beginner. Can you understand that?
Mm.
He's not a beginner.
Yeah.
He has controlled his system to a certain extent. So he has practiced what Buddha said quite a long time, and he has got this part stuck somewhere due to some other reason. The system got stuck. Anyway, so keep those things in mind. Buddha is recalling some of the things which are important. We are bound to live in a world where Rupa is coming all the time. That is what Buddha mentioned here. Pati Rupa Desa Vaso. Okay, let
Mm.
us, let us go through that first sentence now with all these explanation. If one lives by associating and reacting with the figurines of omens of the worldly sources, then that person is certainly undergoing sorrowfulness by fearful suffering. So what Buddha says is exactly what the thought is doing to us. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. So in this particular part, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha means there are five elements for a thought. If you go along these Rupa, Upadana Rupa comes to the six senses, so the person can understand. These are very understandable to that person because that monk has, learned these things. It's not new. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not
Yeah.
new. The person knows. So
Yes.
therefore, it is.
He has the foundations.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
he has got the foundation. He's very well educated. He's very well trained. So it's
Yeah.
giving some sort of a push. So Buddha is giving a push to go along the right path further and attain that particular situation, which we said can resist gain and loss, power and powerless, praise and blame, happiness and sadness. So that is what is Buddha is aiming at. Once you can control these things, you are fully calm.
Yes.
So
Interesting.
directing the
Yeah.
person towards the full calmness or the tranquility, serenity, and tranquility. So Buddha is slowly but surely bringing this person, giving advice to bring that person towards that particular destination where bliss of Nibbana can be obtained.
Yes.
So that when you are reading this, you have to always think on those lines. Otherwise, what happens is we get confused. What's going on here? I can't understand.
Mhm.
No, we can understand that.
Yeah, we can. Thank you so much for your explanation. Yeah,
Mm.
illustration.
Yeah. So then practice regularly to refrain. Now the next one. Kubbecha kata punyata. That's the next one.
Which one?
So now see the say not the next. I'm still with this because there are four parts. Now see,
Oh,
Ati Rupa
yeah.
Desa Vasocha in this verse, there are four
Mm,
parts.
mm.
Ati Rupa Desa Vasocha, that has got a meaning. Then Ubbecha Kata Punyata.
Vichakata.
Then Atta Samma Panidicca Etam Mangala Muttamang. So we have to explain each and every part. There are
Mm.
four parts to every verse given by the Buddha. So we can treat along those lines. So what it says is, let us look at what it says in English without
Mm.
worrying about the Magadhi terms. Refrain means,
Again.
okay, practice regularly to refrain from repetitively ramming on prevailing thoughts. So Buddha says, don't repetitively think about the thoughts which are existing within the system, which are already developed in the system. So what we do is
Mhm.
we repetitively think about something over and over again. So that means we are repetitively recalling the thought or the thoughts that we have already created.
Yes.
Then only you can eliminate their speech by means of the intellectuality that had been already gained in the past. So this person is control power is there. So Buddha is asking to use that controlling power that this person has gained. Well, the Buddha said, I have control myself. I know how to control. So Buddha is uh, expressing those things as well and explaining in a manner for him to use the gain power, gain ability to go forward in this particular situation. So that you have to remember that. So when you are examining that part,
What
that
does
is what
mean
we do.
game power? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because,
You mean that yeah, kind of,
okay.
yeah, okay, I see.
So you are this like this. You are mathematics. So if a person knows algebra, okay, basic things about algebra, how to where to put brackets, this, that, all sort of things. I'm not going to give you a mathematics class, but what I'm telling is, if that person knows all these things, once you give a problem, you're not going to teach that person all the basics in algebra, but you're going to use these things that you already know to solve this problem. Is that right?
Yeah.
Same thing done by Buddha. Okay, you came to me and said you have gained this, that, that. Okay, make
Mm.
use of them to go along with this problem and get the results. So regularly refrain from repetitively ramming on prevailing thoughts, and also limit the levels of speech by means of using the practice that you have gained. In other words, use that, utilize that. Well, you have trained yourself. That training has to be utilized or used for this purpose. So by doing so, this person would be able to maintain appetizing. You know the appetite? Appetizing means,
Appetizing. Yeah. Appealing
appetizing to
to.
feel like,
Appetizing.
appetite. It's the appetite. So appetite
Something you
comes here.
like to
Yeah,
eat, right?
yeah. It comes the appetite to eat, appetite to do something. So it's some sort of a catalyst or some sort of a push.
Yeah.
Wholesome actions. So the person is going to create wholesome actions. But the wholesome actions were said and done in the previous verse, directly or indirectly, which we have discussed.
Mm.
Wholesome
Mm.
actions. What are the wholesome actions? Wholesome actions are dana, sila, bhavana, pattidana, pattanumodana, veyyavacca, upachayana, desana, sravana, dittiju,
Mm.
Danang Silancha Nekkammam Panya, with also perfections also can be. But I just consider just mention the 10 wholesome actions for the time being. So what Buddha is telling is, use your already gained power or the ability to concentrate on this, to realize there are, a lot of things. So when you are going along this path, you gain happiness. Don't get attached to that happiness or the proudness or the anything that you
Yeah.
get. So Buddha is allowing that person to do some sort of a self assessment. That's the term. Self,
Oh, assessment, self-assessment.
yeah, because doing a self assessment to realize where and why and how I got stuck there. Now see how intelligent Buddha is. You can imagine. So Buddha got the question right. Buddha got
Yeah.
the answer right, 100%.
Yeah.
So by
100%.
doing so,
Yeah.
okay,
Interesting.
yeah. Uh, then okay, just move a little bit down. So just to
Mm.
read the verse. Pati rupa desa vasocha pubbeta kata punyata. Atta means, remember this, atta is calmness. Atta, Buddha's term, calmness. The Buddha's Magadhi term for calmness is atta. Now see, we have got 4 parts in this verse. Pati rupa desa vasocha. We have been asked to live in a place, in a world where a lot of rupa are there. So don't get entangled with those rupa and bring about unhappiness. Then the next one says, Ubbecha kata punyata. So use your intelligence, punyata, and try to eradicate those things, the bad parts, without ramming on the prevailing thoughts over and over again, which happens. Because it's like, if you get the proudness, it's going over and over again. That's why it's, bring this proudness, because if you leave them, that won't come in and bring one after the other. You know what I mean? If somebody get proudness or over joy, what happens? The same thought is repeated. Can you understand?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that is called the raga. Raga. You have heard about raga.
Rag.
Raga,
Oh,
repetitively happening. Ama tanna rati raga. So it's
raga.
repetitively
Yeah,
happening.
you raga.
Raga,
Yeah, the
repetitively
four.
happening. Because
Raga.
Buddha is advising
The force of the ten
the bad
defilements.
action. Yeah, that's right. It's a force. It's a bad force. So it's atta samma panidita, picture. So atta samma, so it's appetiting is coming to get rid of the bad ones and bring the atta. Atta is calmness. Who is bringing the calmness? Wholesome actions which are correctly and truly allowed to sustain calmness. Now see, calmness is atta through neutral speeds in the system.
Mm.
Okay? So
Yeah.
then Buddha says finally, if you do that, practice this, there is no any other, last line, no any other superior and unprecedented award that a person could achieve in this life. If a person can practice this part, so Buddha is encouraging. Now see, each and every why Buddha has indicated etam mangala muttamang in every verse. It is to encourage the person to go along this particular unbelievable relaxing path to achieve or to go to the destination of equanimity. The Buddha is encouraging in every, now the previous one also same. Go back to the previous one. Asevanacha balanang panditananja sevana pujacha pujaniyanang etam mangala muttamang. That one also had the last one as etam mangala muttamang. The previous one we discussed. So in all 12 verses, Buddha insisted or indicated etam mangala muttamang. There is no any other superior, unprecedented reward or award that a person could achieve in this life. That is to encourage the person who is practicing this. Okay, that we have to remember. Why Buddha has mentioned that in every part.
Mm. So,
Yeah.
so does it mean that yeah, we need to put what we learned into practice?
Mhm. Yeah. So what is to practice? Exactly what we are learning, 10 defilements, hindrances, five, I said in the five elements of a thought, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, stop there, don't go to Sankara, don't go to Vinyana. Same thing
Mm.
Buddha is telling here, in a different perspective, in a different manner, using different set of words, but using the same words to a certain extent.
Yes.
As you go along, when you go to all 12 verses, you can see a lot of terms are there as in the other parts that we have studied.
Okay, so good. Such as, yeah, we just learn some basic terms and then we can see how to use in the verses.
We have to use according to our ability. Then gradually, when we use and get the relief, that ability will escalate or enhance. So your
Yes,
ability
so
can be
good.
enhanced little by little, but surely it is going to enhance because you're on the right
Chin.
track. On the right
Yes,
track.
yes.
Buddha's teaching.
On the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for your instruction. I think I get more and more clear. So
Okay.
there is a question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you have yeah you are okay to go with.
Mm-hmm.
And just now you mentioned because we just practice the 10 wholesome days and 10 perfections, such as this, the wholesome actions and wholesome deeds. So in that way, the 25 months and then contentments will go away. So it means, does it mean that we just, yeah, because we just put our heart into the wholesome thing, so the
Mm-hmm.
unwholesome thing will be gone
Yeah. Gone means,
automatically?
yeah, automatically means that this is how it happens. Now, we are not going to, okay, I'll give you example, right?
Mm,
If, if I,
okay.
so I've been asked to do this. I've been asked to say to myself, okay, uh, no more anger, no more anger, no more anger. You are thinking along those things, right? Like, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, just say somebody is thinking as a meditation free from anger. Okay, so
Exactly.
if I say that, see the problem here. If I say free from anger, I am bringing the anger into my system and asking it to go. I'm
Yes, yes,
I'm I'm,
yes,
I'm doing an
exactly.
unnecessary thing. It is not there with me. Now see, I'm here now. I'm in a good mood. I'm calm. If I say to myself, free from anger, then I had to bring the anger into myself and say,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
that is not
Yeah,
the right
yeah.
meditation. That you can't meditate like that. You can't gain anything.
Exactly. So
So what we
we
have to do
just
is,
say yeah.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
you, don't do those things. People are used to that. So I have, I have met a lot of people. They are saying, they are meditating in that man. I said, no, you can't do anything. You can't get anything. You can't gain anything. What you have to do is, you bring all the good, you know, actions into your system. Say, as I said, if you get anger, what you have to do is, don't put the thoughts into that to get rid of that anger. Don't say to yourself, I'm going to get rid of that anger. That's a wrong thought. I
Yeah.
can't get rid of that anger because I'm not the person who made that, it made by the karma. So I have to look at what the karma did. So therefore, hereafter, when I am, entangling with the outside worldly things, I had to make sure I'm going to use them very quietly, very, like a shadow. I'm going to attach to them like a shadow,
Mm,
not
yes.
strongly. So then I had to weigh the two. I had to weigh the two and see when I was attaching on to them very strongly, what happens? When I'm attaching onto them very lightly, what is happening? So which one you pick? This is better. So you experience that. So whenever it's going to get attached, you stop then and there. Okay, made a mistake. I attached too much. So you stop there and think about what's going on, why I did that. Then it will go slowly in its own. That's how you practice. You practice by observing. Buddha has mentioned this term so many times in the sutras. What is the term? Observe what's going on.
Observe what's going on.
Pajanati. Pajanati is the term in Magadi. Pajanati.
Ah,
Pajanati.
pajanati.
I'll write it here. Pajanati is the term. Okay?
Washna. Okay.
Pajanati.
Okay. Pajanati. Okay.
Pajanati means always be vigilant.
P
Examine.
Vigilant.
Vigilant,
Um,
examine this, that. Even you have stopped attaching too much, even be vigilant about what's going to happen next.
yes.
Whether it works
Yes.
or not. Is it working for me or not? So you have to figure out whether it's working or not. You can't just apply and say, I applied, it should work in its own. No, we have to check. If not,
Yes.
we have to use a different strategy.
Mm.
So the Buddha has given so many strategies to use. So
Yes,
these are
yes,
in
yeah.
the other sutras. So it's hard to bring this. So it says there is a thing called, if you are attached to Rupa too much, then what happens is it gives the 10 Sangyojana, you are allowing the Sangyojana to come up.
Yes.
So you're going along that path now, non-stop. So you realize that is going along that path, you have to put the brakes on somewhere along the line. Then you
Mm.
have to stop and observe what has happened to me. So that is called the bhavana or the meditation. Then
Open
will
meditation.
practice in its own to rectify the problems. Then next time when it comes, it won't go that far. Because you have practiced, you have seen the consequences. So it doesn't happen over, you know, in no time. It takes time to practice. So you have to do
Mm.
it slowly. Gradually it will get, you have to put the system into a different way of thinking, different way of acting with the other things, outside things. I should not say thinking, the different way of changing your sankara. So sankara has to be minimized. Should not get excited when you see something. Should not get agitated. So we have to stop these things by, so we have to figure out the consequences, the cause and the effect. We have to learn, if I do this, this would be the effect. So therefore, I'm not going to involve in that. So that is what I can tell you at this moment. As we go along, we can see, once you look at this sutra fully, you get a better understanding about what to do. So I don't want to bring everything at once, too complicated. Okay? So we'll go
Mm.
slowly. Let us go slowly with this. Now we have got two verses done. So tomorrow maybe another two verses. So there are about 12 altogether. So it's by the time we finish this sutra, you get a good understanding about the way of preaching by the Buddha, the advising by the Buddha.
Yeah, okay. So all the 12 verses are within one sutra called Mangala Sutra.
Etam Mangalam Uttamam. Yeah, that these three terms are in every part because Buddha
Oh,
insists that that's the better way of looking at the things. That's the only way.
okay. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I get more clear. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We'll stop there then.
Okay. And before ending, I like to do the prayer. Thank you so much. Hopefully, yeah, you can get better. Blessed by the Buddha's wonderful teachings and blessed by the commenter. Yeah, instruction, Benny's instruction, and also blessed by two doctors' compassion, leading and inspiring. May Dr. Bodhi will recover soon and all the health problems be gone soon. Thank you.
Okay. I have to tell you something. Is it all
Mm?
right to cancel tomorrow's lecture and go to Monday? Because
Yeah,
tomorrow is,
sure. Why not? Yes, you
yeah,
can have
we'll,
a rest.
yeah, I can have a rest and normally I go shopping on Sundays, then I get tired. So
Oh,
yeah, so with my wife, I go for shopping. There is a Sunday market where you can get all
oh,
the vegetables, things like that,
oh.
fruits and other things. So we spend the day. So we get bit tired. So would you mind postponing tomorrow one to Monday? So we'll meet you on Monday if you don't mind. Okay?
Yeah, sure, sure. No problem. Yeah. Just
Okay, thank
enjoy
you.
your time. Enjoy your Sunday.
Okay,
Okay.
right. Okay, all the best. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wishes. I really
Thank you.
admire and appreciate. Thank you. All the best. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.
See you on Monday.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.